What's good, football fans? Welcome back to the Power Hour. My name is Vinny Bonsignor. I cover the Las Vegas Raiders for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. You can read my stuff and everything that my colleagues do as well. We got videos, podcasts, photo shoots, obviously articles over at just download the app Vegas Nation or go to vegasnation.com. I also host a radio show here in Las Vegas on Raider Nation Radio, 9:20 a.m. locally, in the huddle with Vinny Bonsignor, and Tuesdays through Thursdays, Lincoln Kennedy joins me. It's brought to you by Embajador Tequila. So check me out there. I got my partner here, Les Kekahuna, and we're talking about the three.
Learning from Vinny.
It's vice versa. But we're talking about the 3-0 Raiders, a huge game early in the season. It's a divisional rivalry matchup.
Yeah. Conference, divisional game, it's tough.
And with the Raiders now 3-0, and we're obviously talking about the Los Angeles Chargers over at SoFi Stadium on Monday night. They're 2-1. A little bit of first place is at stake here, at least a piece of it, depending on what happens with the Denver Broncos. But Les, this is a game where I know, Raider fans and Raider Nation are feeling pretty good about themselves, as they should. The Raiders are 3-0 and showing a lot of good team tendencies.
Right.
As I look at the Los Angeles Chargers, this is a good football team with, I think, sound coaching with their new staff that they've got over there. A good defense, especially a defensive front. You always have to account for Joey Bosa. Derwin James is
really good quarterback.
Playmaking safety, and of course Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. This is a team that is a good team to me, and I think someone that this is no gimme win for the Raiders at all.
Yeah, they're tough, and the Chargers. Well, let's just hope. For Raider fans hope that the trend continues, because the Chargers, they've only won on the road, and their one loss is at home.
It's true
against Dallas, right?
Right, and
so they're playing again at home.
Really quick, you bring up a great point that that can't be discounted. The Chargers are playing at home, but in reality, almost every one of their home games is a road game to some extent, because right now, with the Chargers trying to find their footing in Los Angeles, it's ever since they showed up in Los Angeles, it's always been more fans of the other teams at their stadium. Now, they were at the soccer stadium in Carson, about 28,000 capacity, and it was always for the other team predominantly. Now they go to a 70,000 seat stadium, obviously at SoFi Stadium, and it becomes even more pronounced too. And I know that I'm getting emails from ticket agencies that follow this and predict things and have algorithms, and they are predicting for this game a huge advantage for the Raiders in terms of how many fans are going to be there. So it's going to be, it looks like, a decidedly Raiders crowd over at SoFi Stadium. No big surprise. The Raiders have a strong foothold in Southern California. If you want to go back a couple of weeks, they played the Cowboys at home. And from what the information that I was getting, it was about 55-45 for the Cowboys. So that's over 50% in your stadium,
in your own stadium,
of other teams' fans. That's kind of a disheartening situation. Number one. Number two, it's going to affect, and I guarantee it's going to affect the Chargers in this game even more so, because when you're on offense and you're at home, you're expecting quiet fans that are working for you, not against you. And this is going to be the complete opposite. Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense are going to have to be working against a home a crowd that's exactly. Whereas the Raiders, when they're on offense, it's going to be normally you go to an opposing team stadium, and it's like what Les just said, silent counts. You have to change what you're doing offensively, how you communicate it. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case for the Raiders in this game. They're going to probably have a pretty easy time operating their offense.
Yeah, I was at, like I had mentioned to you off air, which is I was at the game, the Rams game, and being at a Rams game, there was a whole bunch of Raider fans wearing their jerseys and hats.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, wow. Yeah.
So, and that's just at the Rams game, and they still have a lot of fans, a lot of Rams fans.
No, they had a lot of Rams fans, but it's just crazy. Like, wow, you just see how much fans that follow the Raiders.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you want to talk about that for a second, like, everyone remembers that the Rams left Southern California to go to St. Louis in 1994.
Right.
But the reality is, it goes even further back because the Rams had played at the Coliseum, which is right near downtown, in the heart of Los Angeles. They played there for 40 some odd years. And then right before the 1980 season, they moved to Anaheim. I know, and I lived in Southern California, I know it's only about 35 miles maybe, but it's a world away.
Right.
And so right after the Rams made the move from Los Angeles to Orange County, guess who shows up? The Raiders. The Raiders moved right into the stadium that they left, hoping that they would get a long-term stadium deal in Los Angeles. That never happened, obviously. But in the 12 or 13 or whatever years that they were there, they created a strong foothold that is
still
evident
existent.
today.
Yeah, still
Now,
existent.
and not only that, you have grandfathers that had sons and sons who had sons.
That forced them to become Raider fans.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
No choice.
And so
Generational
it's
thing.
a huge advantage. Look, we host there's a rally that a Raiders rally basically, or just get together here at Rockstar Bar, which is where we are, the Saturday before home games at Allegiant Stadium, and so many fans are driving in from Southern California.
And they have an induction ceremony, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty funny. We're here. I'm here to greet and talk Raider football and answer your questions, meet everybody, because we really do appreciate the support, whether it's at Vegas Nation or Raider Nation Radio.
Yep.
But it's really interesting to see where everyone's coming from. Now, granted, we get a lot of fans from Las Vegas, and I know the Raiders are trying to build that out. But the amount of fans that are coming in from Southern California is pretty crazy. Right. And so now they don't even have to make a trip to Las Vegas to see the Raiders play. They'll be right there in L.A.
And the last Raider rally that I was at, I met parents that had a son who's Raider fans. They're from California.
Yeah.
They live here now, and they're the father and mother grew up Raider fans. Now their son is a diehard Raider fan. He's married. The son's wife is a Raider fan.
That's how it goes. It's passed on from generation to generation. And needless to say, it's created a huge advantage for the Raiders in Los Angeles. And really, when you think about it, from year to year, they don't just play 8 home games, and actually this year 9 because the 17th game. Right. It's really 10 home games. When they go to Los Angeles, that will be a home game. Now, having said that, nevertheless, it's still a tough opponent that they're playing, Les.
Yes, but so their first 3 opponents the Raiders face the number 1, number 2, and number 6 defense: Baltimore, Steelers, and the Dolphins. And now they face the number 23 defense. Not to underestimate them, but things should be a little bit different, as far as what everyone's complaining about. Oh, they need to run the ball better. I could see it happening better this week.
We still don't know, as of when we're filming this, what Josh Jacobs' status is going to be. I know they were hoping to get him on the grass this week for practice. We'll keep you updated on that. Actually, watch, keep looking at the comments. We're going to have an update for you on that. But that would certainly help. But I also think, and Les understands this, they got to get it together on the offensive line, Les, and explain why.
No, I mean, there's so many, because there's a lot of moving parts, right? Offensively, and defense shift, their alignment, and then with the Raiders losing 2 of their interior linemen, both guards. One is out for a season.
Denzel Good.
Yeah, the other one is on IR.
Richie Incognito.
Right, and so it's tough. It's tough to build chemistry. And it seems like Richie is also their leader on the offensive line, right? So when you lose your leader, it's kind of different. Then, Leather was playing great, but he's a rookie, and so he's trying to learn things, some NFL
He's playing better.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing better, especially in the run game.
Right.
He's got to get it.
He's going to be great, man. He's going to be fine. But, he's young. He's a rookie, so...
playing beasts, by the way, week in and week out. It's been.
And he has a tough one this week again.
Yeah, right? What's his name?
I think his name is Bosa.
Joey Bosa. He'll definitely be lining up over on Alex Leatherwood's side. But by this point,
no doubt.
And I would say Bosa is probably the best rusher that he will have faced to this point. But exactly. The Ravens and the Steelers. I mean, T.J. Watt for a little while before he got hurt.
Right, he faced him, and he practiced against Ngakoue. He practiced against Crosby. Right? So he gets some good looks.
Exactly. So, what are you expecting, Les, in this game?
As far as
just in general, what kind of game?
I mean, the Raiders are putting up points, right? That's one. So, and the as far as their defense, so I looked at it, right? Their defense average is giving up 20 points a game. And their offense is averaging 22 points a game. And I believe the Raiders are close to like 30 points a game, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're putting up about 30 points. So
Right.
if they can continue to do that, put up their 30, and their defense and the Raiders' defense continues to play well, and let's say they get their average 22, the Raiders win.
Why even play the game? Yeah. It's so easy.
No,
but it's true. It's true. I mean, if they hit their marks.
Yeah, like, hey, people laugh at it, but the truth is they study numbers. There's a reason for that, right?
Right.
You know, and numbers don't lie, right? Numbers don't lie.
So how many teams do you think Les is basically – go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah.
But one thing that they got to really get right, and the good thing is the Raiders, I believe – that their strength are their cornerbacks.
Yeah.
They're really good. Casey Hayward and
Trayvon
Mullen are really good. And they're going to have their hands full because Williams and Allen are very good.
And Allen has a tendency to chew up the Raiders.
Right.
But
yeah, but then now now they have
a guy that
Hayward, who's familiar with him too.
He practices against him every day,
right?
For the last 4 years.
He's going to know all his tendencies, right?
Right.
He's going to know it. So
that's going to be, I'm sure,
and he knows Casey Hayward's tendencies too.
No doubt about it.
Really good.
While we're on that subject, it's not just Casey Hayward. Denzel Perryman was a linebacker for the Raiders, or the Chargers. The last 4 years, maybe even a little bit longer, so he knows that offense. It's a little bit different. There's a different coach. It's not Anthony Lynn calling the offense anymore. He's now in Detroit. But he knows the personnel and the young quarterback, so he practiced against them all last year. And Denzel Perryman, as Derek Carr alluded to, he's just running around the field obliterating people right now.
Destroying people. And the good thing, what it tells you is how good the defensive line is for the Raiders. Because they're so good, he can fly around, right?
Right.
He doesn't have to worry about getting blocked on run plays. He doesn't have to worry about other things because he can just go fly around. Because the defensive front is doing well, the corners are doing good.
Yeah.
So now he can just run around and make plays.
Which kind of solidifies the point that it does all start up front, both offensively and defensively, really. So I think the offensive line for the Raiders has not been great. There's no getting around that, but I think they've been getting
better. They're battle tested, though.
Yeah,
they're getting better, and it takes time. Man. I think not until probably about the 6th or 8th game of the season is when they start to really gel. You know,
right.
In the beginning it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Offensive line, I tell you, it's a tough position to play, and I believe it's one of the smartest players. You know, on every football team is offensive line. There's so much responsibility.
Right, definitely. The Raiders, they do need Andre James to play better. They need their guards to play better. I mean, they need the entire group. Colton Miller's having a good year. The left tackle, that's expected. He's a veteran left tackle. Everybody else is just new. I mean, when you talk about Alex Leatherwood, a rookie right tackle, Jermaine Illuminor, yes, he's got some starts in his career, but he's not like a solidified NFL starter. John Simpson is a second-year player, still finding his way. Andre James is a first-year center. So when you start really looking at it from left to right, there's a lot of as Derek Carr likes to say, there's a lot of green bananas on that offensive line, but they're starting to get more and more yellow.
They're 3-0.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
Just think about it. Like, if this is as bad as it gets, imagine when it starts to get better.
Right.
You know.
Good point.
So that's going to be exciting. You know, for the offensive line when you start seeing them come together, because their passing game, the Raiders' passing game, is almost unstoppable.
Well, we mentioned it on the last show.
Derek Carr's throwing the ball really good.
And 4 wide receivers or 4 targets with more than 200 yards receiving. That's the only team in the NFL to do that. And I know Darren Waller isn't technically a wide receiver. He's a tight end, but they use him as a wide receiver.
Absolutely, yeah. But you know what I want to mention was the Chargers right now, they in the last 3 games, they're averaging 87 yards a game rushing. You know, that really isn't that good.
Right.
You know, but if the Raiders can hold them to less than 50, and just force the Chargers to go into just throwing the ball, they're going to be very successful.
And they need to, and the Raiders need to. Goes without saying in any game. Just avoid turnovers. That's how the Chargers capitalize on turnovers against the Chiefs. That's really why they won that game. Yeah. So if the Raiders could play a clean game from that perspective, stopping the run, avoiding turnovers, trying to get a little bit more of a run game going, and then letting Derek Carr and his weapons do their thing, I think that I think there's definitely a path here for a Raiders win to get to 4-0.
Yep.
Which that's would be a great start. Obviously,
great start. And people say things like, "Oh, it's just the beginning of the season." I'd rather be 3-0 than 2-1. 1-2 and 0-3 any other day.
So we are talking about some other 3-0 teams.
Right.
Who also gets to 4-0? Do you think?
It's going to be tough, but
Rams Cardinals is a really interesting game on Sunday.
That one, yeah. I'd like to say the Rams, because they're at home, they're a complete team. But the Cardinals, man, they're just dangerous, man. And it's a divisional game, and they know each other so well, right?
Yeah.
They play each other every year. They know each other's tendencies, but
if you're the Rams,
I pick the Rams.
If you're the Rams in that game,
I can see the Cardinals.
How do you defend Kyler Murray?
How do I defend Kyler Murray? Yikes.
Spy him. Obviously, somebody's got to spy him.
Definitely got to do that. But you know what? You got definitely keep him in the pocket. Because when he extends plays, right? You saw those big plays that he made.
Right.
For one, the defensive backs weren't plastering, right?
Right.
They're keeping their eyes on him. It's their responsibility. And when he extends plays is when he kills the defense. So I guess the end's got to keep him in the pocket and contain him, keep him in the pocket.
What about 99?
Oh yeah, Aaron Donald. Oh yeah, he could do that. That's for sure. But you know who else is good? Because Aaron Donald has so much attention. Is
Floyd.
Floyd. He was over at the Bears.
He turned his career around with the Rams.
Right. Oh yeah. After going to the Rams, man, he just seen a different side of him. It seemed like.
And he said that I want to stay here because playing like Les just said, playing alongside Aaron Donald is just wow.
Yeah, who doesn't want to play with him,
right? Right. Because he's going to get so much attention.
Right, and then you get some one-on-ones, and now Floyd can be just, I'm a better athlete than you, and make plays.
All right, so Les has the Rams going 4-0.
Yes, the Rams going 4-0.
Somehow, some way, beating the Cardinals, which I think is going to be a tough game.
Right.
The Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos
Against the Baltimore Ravens.
3-1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the Ravens going in there.
A little reality check.
Right. And I know people are like, well, the Ravens shouldn't even have won the last game. There's no such thing as should have, could have. And not the only game that close counts is horseshoe, right?
Right.
And so they're a better team. They're better than the Denver Broncos. Denver, I know, is always tough at home, but the three teams they beat is a total record of 0-9.
Yeah, and I think the Ravens had their little wake-up call last week against the Lions, saying, "Look, you can't overlook anyone." And I think it actually helps that they're looking at that record of the Broncos and saying, "Oh, 3-0, so we got to really bring it." I agree.
The
with
Ravens could be 3-0. I mean, they lost a tight one against the Raiders.
No doubt about it.
So it's not like they got blown out in a one loss.
And they beat the Chiefs in an epic.
At home, right? On Monday night game.
And lastly?
And the other, 3-0 team you talking about?
Yes.
Oh, there's another one, the Panthers.
Yeah, that's
Cowboys,
what I'm saying.
Right, the Panthers and the Cowboys. I'm going to go.
The Panthers are 3-0.
3-1. They're going to go 3-1. The Panthers.
Okay.
Yep. And the Cowboys will go to 3-1. From 2-1 to 3-1.
If the Panthers can go to 4-0,
Moore is calling some good plays.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it was so funny because coming into the season, I was looking at the NFC West, or excuse me, the NFC South, and I was thinking, wow, Tom Brady. They've kind of created a similar situation to what Tom Brady and the Patriots had. By the way, let's talk about that game in a little bit. They're playing the Patriots, Tom Brady. But anyway, so when Tom Brady was in New England, the AFC East was just horrible.
Yeah.
Every year, between the Jets,
Dolphins,
and the
Bills,
and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
so
until Allen got there, they were
a couple years the Jets were okay.
Yeah.
But nothing, they weren't legit or anything like that. So I was thinking coming into the season, wow, what a same situation. Drew Brees leaves New Orleans. The Panthers are and then the Falcons are not good.
Yeah,
well, the Falcons are not good.
Right.
But all of a sudden the Panthers look like they've got a really good defense.
Yeah, very good.
And then you look at the Saints and what they're doing with Jameis Winston and how he's kind of recreated himself in a great system with a really good supporting cast. They're not playing bad football either.
Not at all. They have a good defense. What's going to probably hurt them is, I'm not sure, is McCaffrey back?
He'll be back, but
Okay.
I don't think and key here, he didn't go on IR, so they think that he's going to be back before the 3-game designation. So.
Well, that's going to help him if he, having a running game and a running back later.
Right. No, I don't think he's going to be back against the Cowboys.
Oh, okay, well,
but
that'll hurt them a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and hey, shout out to Sam Darnold.
Man, yeah, he's playing really, really well.
We're in such a rush to judgment these days, and we don't take into account necessarily as much as we should, I should say.
Right.
Situation and circumstance. He was in a bad situation with the New York Jets. We're seeing that again.
Right.
We saw it before.
System, right?
Sam Darnold was in New York because they were so bad that they had the third pick overall in his draft. Just like they had a high draft pick for Matt Sanchez. Just like they had a high draft pick for their current quarterback, Zach Wilson, who's,
they're going to have another high pick next year.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully Zach gets a little bit of help and they do right by him. The Jets never did right by Sam Darnold, and he took the brunt of the criticism, and it came down to it, and they said, we're going to go in another direction at quarterback, and they trade Sam Darnold, and everyone was questioning whether the Panthers, what were they thinking? I'm thinking, why not?
Yeah, and Coach Rule is a great coach, right?
Yeah, give him a couple years to see in a better situation, in a better culture, with a better defense, with more balance offensively, with a guy like Christian McCaffrey behind him, some good young wide receivers, some decent wide receivers.
And a pretty good defense to get him the ball back.
And look what's happening. He's playing well, and I'm personally happy for him, because I think that, when you live on social media, as unfortunately we have, I shouldn't say unfortunately, as we have to do sometimes, just the hate is just so over the top, and sometimes you just have to be patient and let a career play out and get a guy into a right situation.
I could see the Panthers winning that game.
I
could,
Les is turning it around.
Yeah, I might have to change my mind. That might be my upset of the week.
All right, so before we close it out, Tom Brady going back to New England.
That too, but okay.
Go ahead. First of all,
hey, let's talk about some of these 0-3.
Okay.
Who's going to be who's going to win a game?
Yeah. Who do we got?
So we'll go to first on the Jags versus the Bengals.
No.
Bengals are 2-1. Jags are 0-3 on the road at the Bengals.
I like where the Bengals are headed. I don't think
0-4.
0-4 for Trevor Lawrence.
Lottery pick.
Yeah, definitely.
Jets at home 0-3 against the 2-1 Titans.
The Jets are going 0-4.
0-4. Okay.
Yes.
The Lions 0-3 on the road at the Bears 1-2.
I have a feeling that the Lions might win that game. Yeah.
Pull it out.
I don't like
1-3.
at all where the Bears are.
Yeah, the Bears.
They're
not very good.
I don't think I'm not a firm believer in what they're doing from an offensive standpoint, from a coaching standpoint. I think Justin Fields has a ways to go, and that's fine. He's a rookie quarterback. That's as it should be sometimes. And I think that the Lions have played competitive football.
Right.
They just haven't been able to close it out.
Yeah, they played some tough games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm liking the Detroit Lions to go 1-3.
Win a game, right? Okay, so there's another 0-3. This is a surprise.
I don't know about a surprise.
But then again, it's like, man, because they were so good last year running the ball, offensive line, defense is unreal. But they're 0-3 right now, going against the 1-2 Miami Dolphins, the Colts. 0-3. Going against the Miami Dolphins at Miami.
The Dolphins win that game.
The Dolphins win that
Jacoby
game.
Brissett is going to get some revenge on the team that...
That's right. Let him go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knows. Okay, so they're going to go 0-4. We have another 0-3 team.
The Giants.
The Giants against the Saints. 2-1 at New Orleans.
And that's going to be in Jacksonville.
It's going to be yep.
Because the Saints still aren't playing.
Right. The Giants, 1-3.
I think the Giants win this game.
I think
they figure out a way. Yeah. They've been close.
They have. They won some close ones.
Right. They've lost some close ones. They could have very
well have won.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So, all right. So I think that the Giants and I think the Lions pick up wins this week. We'll see how that all plays out.
Money line, guys. Money line.
I don't know anything about any of that. Lastly, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady going back
to New England, the scene of the crime.
What, 20 years, 19 years?
Something along those lines. I heard him on an interview talking about how he knows how that place smells, feels, sounds, the wind.
All those little hole-in-the-wall restaurants, he knows the owner,
exactly.
GM, server,
cashier, like the back of his hand. What he doesn't know is the opposing team's locker room, but he's going to find that. He's going to get a look at that place.
As a visitor
so he's going to go in there as a visitor. Tom Brady is a steely-eyed, just blood, like ice in his veins quarterback. But he's also a human being, and there will be emotions for him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Going back to New England. I don't think the Patriots, I just don't think that they have enough to stay in this game.
Mac Jones?
Mac Jones, I think, is a good young quarterback, but He's going to have to win in a shootout, I think.
So it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Probably,
shootout,
yeah.
At home.
I don't see how the Patriots.
Antonio Brown should be back, right? Or is he still out? Because
we'll have to check on that. We'll have to
if
check
he gets
that.
him back, that helps Tom Brady with his offense.
Now, one thing that I'm sure Bill Belichick has had this game circled on his calendar for a long, long time. If there's anybody that knows
Tom Brady,
any kind of way to defend Tom Brady,
right,
it's him. So I'll be very interested to seeing not only what the scheme is on how they defend Tom Brady, but where Belichick is able to get his team emotionally to play that game. Because I think that if there's ever a let's win this one for coach kind of a situation, because look, you don't think that Bill Belichick sat back last year watching his Tom Brady, and there was always the argument.
You think he was cheering for him in the Super Bowl?
I think
Tom Brady. He was cheering for Tom Brady.
I think part of him was, and part of him wasn't. But when you get right down to it, let's not ever forget that there was always a little bit of a chicken and egg situation with Tom Brady and Belichick. Who was the more important? Was it Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? And then for Tom Brady to just say, okay, I'm gone, I'm out of here, and go win a Super Bowl elsewhere, that, I'm sure Bill Belichick, I'm sure on one level he was happy for Tom Brady, but on the other, I'm like thinking he was probably like, man, so.
Well, from my experiences in football, they always said, it ain't about the X's and O's.
Yeah.
You gotta have the Jimmys and Joes.
That's true. And now, and here's the problem for Bill Belichick is there's not much he can do about it in this situation other than coach him up and try to put guys in the best position.
Who do you think needs this win more than the other? Do you think Tom Brady needs to win this game to solidify himself as I'm the reason? Or do you think Bill Belichick, if you only could pick one, needs to win this game to say I'm the reason?
Tom
has to?
Yeah, because I think if they figure out a way to shut him down,
right,
that would be just such redemption for Bill Belichick. I don't expect that to happen, but if they do,
this is their Super Bowl.
If they get after him,
they're not going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so this is the Patriots.
This
Super
is
Bowl
their
right
Super Bowl.
I beat him. I don't care what.
What if they come up with a couple of interceptions, some sacks, and hold them like under 60% throwing? If they make life difficult for him and win that game, then Bill Belichick, doesn't have to say it. He just has to look at the score and say.
But it's not only Tom Brady.
No, I know.
Gronkowski.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yes, yes.
The two of them.
Big Gronk going back.
They've won Super Bowls with Belichick.
They've spilled blood together.
Belichick might be upset because he might feel like, wow, Gronk,
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, let him go.
Kinda.
Because, he had him and he let him go.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason that was, but
so that'll be the Sunday night game, which is why I'm kind of happy
3-on-1, 3 against 1.
Yeah, kind of happy that the Raiders are playing Monday night. I get to sit back a little bit on Sunday and just watch some of these games and enjoy it. I'll be watching that Rams game for sure. And
Who wins the Bucs game, man? The Pats and the Bucs.
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers are close, or kind of a beatdown.
It shouldn't be close because they're the better team.
Right.
I think in a lot of different ways.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns?
You think 2 touchdowns?
Possibly. But, I'm still not going to discount.
In the NFL, that's a lot of points.
Yes.
2 touchdowns is a lot.
I'm still not going to discount the Belichick factor in slowing Tom.
Deflategate might kick in.
Yeah, you might. We got to check the balls in that game. We have to check the footballs.
What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's all coming. We got to see. Is anyone spying on the Buccaneers practice?
Videoing the stuff.
So it's all coming home to roost. The chickens are coming home to roost in New England, in Foxborough, Massachusetts. All right. Well, I can't wait to return next week to talk about it all. To talk about what we see in Foxborough, Los Angeles, twice, the Rams and the Cardinals, and obviously the Raiders against the Chargers. A big week in the NFL. Les, I got to say this?
Yep.
Without a doubt, and I've seen some great seasons, and the NFL to me is the best of the best in terms of sports. I'm a big NBA guy, but still, there's nothing like the NFL. I have not seen a beginning to an NFL season in terms of excitement, great games,
for sure.
Thrillers, all of that. Great personal performances. The first 3 games of this year, it's been off the chain.
No, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of the teams that people thought were going to start off great hasn't been playing really well. Teams that, the other, and vice versa, right? I mean, no one expected the Raiders, but probably the Raiders. And people like you, too, who got to cover them so much that you know what they had. that could predict that they would be here in this situation.
And you got just overtime thrillers. You've got
man.
Aaron Rodgers coming back with 37 seconds
Right.
left to beat the 49ers. Yeah. You got the Raiders going to overtime. You got a 66-yard field goal to win a game.
To win it all.
I mean, that's insane.
To win the game.
So let's just hope that it keeps up, because we love talking about it, and we love bringing it to you. I want to say thank you for the support. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. We're here at the Rockstar Bar and Grill. Thank you for the hospitality here. I want to say read my stuff over at Vegas Nation, the app, or vegasnation.com on the computer. That's the Las Vegas Review-Journal. All my articles are there, and podcasts and videos and all that, along with all my great colleagues at the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Tip of the cap to you guys. And then also Monday through Friday, Raider Nation Radio, 9:20 a.m. locally here in Las Vegas. You could also stream it live on Raiders.com, LVSportsNetwork.com. There's also a podcast version. Go to any podcast, punch in my name and In the Huddle, and you'll find it. I want to say thanks to Les Kekahuna, obviously Embajador Tequila, for everything they do and you guys do. Until next week, we will see you then. Enjoy a great weekend of football, including college.
Listen to Vinny. 4 to 6 p.m. in the Huddle.